Hey, what's up, people? Yes, the enthusiasm is fake, okay? Because what I'm dealing with today, the topic I'm trying to teach you is letter writing, okay? Now, I know everybody hates letter writing, but hey, when you compare letter writing to essays, what do you hate more? You don't have any choice though. Today's lecture is specifically for my ICSE kids. Letter writing comes for 10 marks in an 80-mark paper, all right? You have two options, formal letter and an informal letter. What I've observed is a lot of kids across India are confused about the formats. What I'm doing today is something different. You won't be seeing much of me, thankfully for you. You'll be seeing how I write. I've tried to capture how a letter is written. In this video, I'm primarily focusing on the two styles which kids are not aware of. One is the traditional format and the other is the block format, also called the box format. I'm trying to teach you both today for informal as well as for formal letter. A lot of school teachers scare their kids into believing कि यही एक format है. अगर ये format नहीं किया तो गलत मिलेगा. I think what they're trying to do is train the kids to follow one format. Half knowledge is dangerous, all right? So it's better that you are aware of all formats and then choose which format you want to go with. ICSE accepts both. What you should not do is mix the two formats, all right? So let's begin.
Hey, look at that. I didn't think I'll be able to hold my phone steady while I write with the other hand. Let's start. First, let's just admire my handwriting. At this speed, this video will be shot by 2021. Right, so I didn't bother wasting time showing you how I write this, but believe you me, this is my handwriting. I want you guys to focus on 2-3 things here. There's a wing and there's an apartment number. People who are rich, a letter writing is not the time to show off that you've got multiple flats, alright? So I don't care how many flats you own, you're only supposed to include one flat number. Then you include the building's name, then I've got the road's name, then I've got the area's name, and then I've got my city along with my pin code. One important detail over here though, you see the comma, comma, comma and full stop. The rule now is either include the 3 commas and the full stop or don't put any punctuation at all. So no punctuations or all correct punctuation. So don't mess this up. If you're writing an informal letter, then I only need one address. That's your address. In case you're writing a formal letter, then I need the second address. And remember, this is the traditional format we're talking about. In a traditional format, one will be here and the second address will be over here. If you want a bird's eye view, one address to the right, the receiver's address to the left, and what's important is this word, the principal. A lot of people believe that you have to include the word to, but the rule in ICSE is not to include the word to. Initially, people used to write to, but now the board doesn't accept it. So you have to begin directly with the and whoever it is. So the principal, in this case, in case you're writing it to a hospital, so you'll be like the dean, then whatever the hospital is, then the road's name, then the city and the pin. If you notice, I've done the same thing here, 3 commas, 1 full stop, or don't put any punctuation. You can't have a combination here, alright? So if you haven't put punctuations over here, but you're adding punctuations over here, that's incorrect. So if you don't put punctuation, don't put it at either place. Now the next thing is the subject, which I feel you should avoid completely. The subject is optional. Oh, damn. I missed out the date. Alright, no harm done. Here's the address. Then you leave a line and then you add the date over here. So let's see. There you go. So 23rd July and then a comma and 2020 full stop. If there's no punctuation, then no punctuation here as well. If you notice the date, I chose July when the video is releasing right now. It's because that's my birthday. So in case you guys are watching this video, make sure you wish me. Alright, 23rd July. Hope the lockdown ends by then. 23rd July 2020. Once the date is clear in your head, have you guys memorized it? Alright, so address, point number 1. Point number 2, date. Point number 3, receiver's address. No subject. Then you move to the next step. You can either start with dear or simply say sir. But what you can't ever write is respected. The word respected should never be included. Why not? I really don't know. I don't know why you can't include the word respected. That's just the rule that ICSE has. There's no legit reason given over here. Alright, so no to, no respected. These are taboo words. So dear sir, if you don't like the idea of putting in sir, you can write madam. What you can't write over here is ma'am. So either write dear sir or dear madam. Then do not draw lines. I hope you're not that dumb. These lines actually represent the first paragraph, alright? That's your introduction. One important thing here, do not introduce yourself, alright? I don't care who you are. What I care about is what the topic is. If you're writing a letter to somebody as important as a principal or a dean or a municipal commissioner or a police officer, whoever you're writing to, they are getting a zillion letters a day. What they care about is the topic. You can include your credentials. So what you can say is, as the monitor of the class, I would like to bring to your notice that I don't want anyone starting a letter with I, Ramesh Patel, I'm here to tell you that. Why would you do that, right? You are going to include your name towards the end. It's not like I, Ramesh Patel, I'm writing this letter to tell you that blah 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 blah. Yours, Shamesh Patel. That's a bad joke, but I hope you understand the point. You are Ramesh Patel. You will be Ramesh Patel. Why are you mentioning it twice? So simply start off with the topic. The introduction is to introduce the topic, not you. I love this. I love that I can play with the pen. It's nice. Don't do this. This is supposed to be your intro. Teachers will be doing all this if your introduction is bad. So you don't want teachers to scribble on your intro. So make sure that the introduction is nice. Only if your introduction is nice will the teacher move to the next step. That's the body. Alright, look at my letter. I've got the introduction starting from the comma. Then I've got the body starting from here. Again, I've left some space here because this is a traditional format. There's a difference between how you start traditional format and how you write in a box format or block format. We'll get to that later. So you leave some space here and you again start, again continue. Then again I'm concluding my paragraph. This is my third paragraph. It's my conclusion. Once again I leave some space here. And then I start, alright, and now I want to end my letter. So I can either say yours truly or I can say yours faithfully, because a lot of kids spell it as Truely. So if you're not sure of the spelling or if you have a brain fart, just end up writing faithfully. What you will never write over here is sincerely. You're never supposed to use the word sincerely. Once again, don't ask me why, because I don't know the logic. If anyone tells you I know why ICSE doesn't want you to use sincerely, please make sure you pass on the knowledge to me as well. So yours truly or yours faithfully. An important concept here is no apostrophe here. The moment you put in an apostrophe, that's incorrect. Yours without an apostrophe, then your full name in block letters. All right, I didn't bother doing it because I want to show you what's incorrect. All right, the correct thing is that you write it as block letters. I'll just summarize it for you. Your address, the date, then never put the word to, the principal, blah blah blah. Dear sir or dear madam, but not ma'am. Don't write respected. You can simply say sir. Then the intro, the body, the conclusion, yours, no apostrophe, yours truly or yours faithfully, and then the whole name in block letters. Now you may or may not put your sign, that's okay. I would prefer not putting the signature here. Just write your whole name in block letters. Make sure that you don't just put in the first name, alright? Tum uske sage wale nahi ho. Okay, you have to put in the whole name here. So I think I'm done. This is the formal letter and the traditional format for the formal letter.
I doubt there's anyone who doesn't know the difference between informal and formal, but I'm going to do it for you. A formal letter is when you write it to an acquaintance or somebody who's not your friend, someone you have to be formal with. But an informal letter is someone who's a friend, someone who's a family member. That's the primary difference. Kids have this misconception that formal letter choose karna chahiye because chota hota hai. Okay, and I know what a lot of kids do is, wo log question hi itna lamba hota hai, wo log question ko copy karte hain in their own words. Okay, that becomes the first paragraph. Then they rewrite that same thing again in the second paragraph, but changing the sentences. फिर उनको लगता है हम लोग बहुत clever, अब लोग यही चीज लिखेंगे in the conclusion. Okay, that's not really a wise thing to do. Formal letters are not really short letters. The length of the formal and informal letter is mostly the same. Both of them need to be around 1 to 1.5 sides long. I'm trying to cover both the formats over here.
So this is the informal letter, traditional format. I want your address. Okay, that's Alvin. Say hi to Abby. Hi Abby, you want to learn letter writing? Okay, alright, I love you. This is the address. Then I've got my date. This time I didn't forget the date. And then I've got dear, because I don't want the second address. Why not? Because it's the informal letter, right? In an informal letter, we just need our address, not the other person's address. Dear, and then whoever you're writing a letter to. The only thing over here that you need to remember, you're writing it to your brother, a friend, you directly write the name here. But let's say you're writing a letter to your uncle or your aunt or your cousin. So remember, I want these. Alright, I'm gonna edit this quick. Alright, so if I have uncle, cousin or aunt, I want to use these words first. Title first, then the name. Alright, which means dear Lata auntie is incorrect. Dear aunt Lata is correct. That's how you write it. So dear uncle Ramesh, dear cousin Raj. In case of friends, you can simply go ahead with the friend's name. Then you start off with the introduction. Again, I leave some space and I write my body. Then again, I leave some space from the margin and I write my concluding paragraph. The length of the letter should be ideally 1 to 1.5 sides. Yours without an apostrophe, lovingly. This is the best thing that goes with it. Yours lovingly. Okay, so stick to this. And then your first name. You don't need the whole name here. Now, in case you guys get confused about the use of apostrophe over here, simply write your loving friend, your loving brother. So in case you don't want to mess around with the S, simply write your, but then lovingly adverb nahi aayega. Your loving, and then whoever you are, your loving son, your loving grandson, your loving friend, whatever it is. That's your traditional form format for an informal letter?
So format, content and expression, ये तीन categories में marks बंटते हैं, the 10 marks. उसमें से in a formal letter you get 3 marks for format, and in an informal letter you get 2.5 marks for the format. The half mark is anyways going to be rounded up later, alright? Kids think format में ज़्यादा marks मिलेगा, अबे half mark ज़्यादा मिल रहा है तुम लोग को, half mark, okay? I feel formal letters are tricky. If you're not very careful with your language use, you might end up goofing up because you'll use contractions which you are supposed to avoid strictly in a formal letter. The use of the language matters a lot. Informal letter, you normally just write from your heart. Kids who study with me, they'll be getting a handout from my end. It's practically your simple recipe to score 10 on 10 in letters. I've focused upon the ways to begin a letter, what content you should go for in your body, how to conclude a letter. So I think that makes it simpler for you. Those who are not studying with me, only one advice here, apart from the format that I'm discussing, try and keep up with the times. You are no longer in the 90s. So your letters don't have to begin with, hope you are in the pink of your health. If not, you let me be the one to break the ice. Who talks like that? Think of it this way. Who are you writing a letter to? Why are you writing a letter to this person? Why not somebody else? I mean, you've got so many people. So why this particular person? And what is so important that you had to write it in a letter? Why couldn't you just call him up? Why couldn't you text him about it? Why a letter? If these questions are answered, then your letter is going to be nice and refreshing. So I'm not saying start with "Sup, what's up, bro?" Do not start with that. I'll give you an example. Dear Ravi, it's been quite some time since I've actually spoken to you. I did something terrible last week because of which I'm grounded, so I can't really text you. Besides, what I want to tell you is something I can only pen down in words. And then you start off the topic. In the introduction only, mention why you're writing a letter. There are certain things which are better expressed when you write it down.
Moving on to the block or the box format, this was my favorite and it's pretty simple if you ask me. I normally encourage my kids to go with the block format because you don't have to remember what goes to the right and what goes to the left. It's all left. Everything on the left. So I've got your address, I've got the date, then I've got the person who you're writing to, then I've got dear, madam, or sir, or whatever you want to write, comma. Then you can start off from the margin. You can also start off from the comma. The first paragraph ke liye, it doesn't matter where you start from. You can either start from right under the comma or you can start from the margin. So in order to avoid any confusion, I would suggest starting from the margin. Start from the margin, introduce the topic. Now you want to change the paragraph, leave a line. In the traditional format, you are not leaving a line. Again, start from the margin. Once again, you want to change the paragraph, leave a line. Once again, start from the margin to the left, yours truly, and then block letters में your full name. That is your box form. I am too lazy to actually give you the box or the block format for an informal letter. Only thing that changes in an informal letter is this address stays, this entire thing गायब कर दो. Dear के बदले जिसको भी लिख रहे हो उसका नाम आएगा. Same concept, yours lovingly, then the first name. That would become the block or the box format for your informal letter. Alright, I'm gonna do the mic drop now. There, amazing.
I hope that helped. I tried to do something different. That's the only way I could teach letter writing. The other alternate was having a whiteboard over here and doing it. You can refer to this video each time you get confused about the format. If I become famous and people invest in my channel, I'll soon have some cool graphics coming up. So next time I simply do this and the letter is written on screen, all right? There's no harm in hoping. By the time you guys pass out of 10, letter writing will be an archaic means of communication. Nobody's going to use them anymore, but you have no choice. It's a compulsory question. I hope you guys really enjoyed the lecture. If you're watching me for the first time, show some love, all right? If you made it this far into the video, I must be doing something right. Thanks for watching it. And if you like it, share it with people. Take care. I really love you guys. Thank you for everything.